There is a significant event too yesterday. Yesterday was March 20 I mean, yeah, March 26th, 2025. What happened on this day was a lot of Cherokee Indians were moved out of their homes. They were forced out of their homes um to migrate to a different place. And what happens with migration? It's just as birds, when the birds have to fly south for the winter, they have to fly south for the winter. But instead, they had to go somewhere else they couldn't do was naturally um, in them to do. They couldn't move based on, their own destiny, their own purpose. They had to move because the world wanted them to move and relocate, not to the south, but to the west, you know. But they weren't supposed to go to the west. They were meant to go to the south for this time. But they couldn't. And the simple fact that, and because they couldn't, they wound up dying off and starving. And a lot of the Cherokee heritage died and passed away. What is Earth? What is the meaning of the first day of the year, the New Year's? We celebrate New Year's, but New Year's is only it's like a birthday towards the year. It's the year's birthday. Oh, now the year, it's the Earth's birthday. So basically, it's like the Earth is 2025 years old now. So we are celebrating the Earth's birthday. Just as these events that's taking place, it's the same as humans. That's why I said you will look at Earth as in a metaphoric, as a metaphor, as a metaphor. You know, just as we are going through traumatic events, and we, are trying to make it through the traumatic. This we're trying to make it through all of these traumatic events every day of our life. Just the Earth is doing the same. What happened this day, the Earth is mourning what happened that day, and that energy is coming to Earth on that day. So therefore, that day is a special day and it's relevant to history. The Earth lost life that day. That is a grieving day for the Earth because of what was of being controlled by civilization, being controlled by society, being in control, not letting life sprout on its own, but trying to take control of the situation. And this is what Earth was going through yesterday. Just as we are healing as a people, the Earth is healing as a habitat, a womb. It's like Earth is the mother. This is how I used to see it, and I still do. Earth is the mother, and everything that is on Earth is inside the mother's womb. So it's like losing all of these babies at once. You know, we give birth to quadruplets, triplets, twins, or a baby. Just as we give birth, so does the Earth. So therefore, it's just like I lost all of my babies this day. I lost all of my kids this day because it was cold outside, and I had to take my kids inside, but instead, I was forced to unalive my kids because I wasn't allowed to go inside at this time. So yeah, um, that's just what I want to speak on. It's like I said, the world is just like it's just like you. The world is just like you. The world is just like me. The experiences, the traumatic experiences that we go through, it's all for a reason. You know, and what happened to you yesterday that can kind of relate to this situation. You know, that can relate to this event, this traumatic experience that the Earth had, called the Trail of Tears, where many lives were lost due to not natural causes, but people being forceful to taking force and taking control towards a situation that was supposed to happen naturally. So yeah, that's all I wanted to speak on. Um, in relation to this topic, I kind of was like, brainstorming um, about life and how I can basically take this and compare it to, some biblical events as well. And what I came to was the times of, different scriptures when they were written, chapters, and the times, you know, that they were written. It's just like, okay, so what happened this year is my question. So we are going to go to my phone is charged right now. It's giving me issues because it won't heal. I mean, it won't freaking load. So let's see. Around this time, I would say it is between, well, I say 1806, between 1806 and 2084. This is before Christ. Um, 1407 to 2001, 21 BC. So I would say 2001 is the closest because we ain't nowhere near 21. And this year, it was, so basically, this will be the era of the Tower of Babel. And this is Genesis 11. So it's like we could have been going off. It's been so much time lost to where I'm so late looking at these events. Um, when I could have just followed along with those times. So 1445, yeah. So that's the closest we're gonna get to kind of look back on this era, what happened in this era that is kind of frustrating nature, getting to know nature and getting to know, getting down to the nitty gritty, you know. So I'm going to go to that one. I might have to actually go to my freaking book. This is in the Old Testament. Just a minute. So at these times in the Old Testament, the closest I can get to those times are um 1806 BC, prior, between the year of 1806 and 2084. So there's three follow along events that happened around that time that I could go with. I could go with it's 2025, so I could talk about events that's going to happen leading into the year 3000. But then again, we are so far behind. We only in 20, so it's like the only future event I could talk about would be 21 um, BC. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about 2001, 1806 to 2001 before Christ. And these are the stories will be God sends Abram to Egypt. These are reflections. So when God sent Abram to Egypt, what happened? Um, God sends, well, Abram and Lot part ways, and the descendants of Abraham. So this is what happened around this time, right now, and what traumatic experience the earth could be going through because of these events that took place. So, so this is chapter 12, 13, and 14, Genesis 8:22. Now the Lord said to Abram, go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you, and I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and him who curses you, I will curse, and by you all the families of the earth shall bless themselves. So just that section alone talks about God sending Abram, to sending out a mission for Abram. So Abram is to be on the move. And that's basically what the energy basically is giving, revolving around, you know, the event of yesterday or just the energy of the earth and the experiences. This is the energy that we're living right now of transporting. So Abram went to the Lord, had told him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their possessions which they had gathered, and the persons that they had gone in Haran, and they set forth to go to the land of Canaan. When they had come to the land of Canaan, Abram passed through the land to the place at Shechem, to the oak of Morah. At that time the Canaanites were in the land. Then the Lord appeared to Abram and said to the descendants, I will give this land so he built there so he built there an altar to the Lord who had appeared to him. Thence he removed to the mountain on the coast of Bethel, and pitched his tent, with Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. And there he built the altar to the Lord, and he called the name of the Lord. And Abram journeyed on, still going toward Negeb. Abram and Sarai in Egypt. Now there was a famine to the land. So Abram went down to Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was severe in the land. When he was about to enter Egypt, he said to Sarai his wife, I know that you are a woman beautiful to behold. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, This is his wife. Then they will kill me, but they will let you live. Say, You are my sister, that it may go well with me because of you, and that my life may be spared on your account. When Abram entered Egypt, an Egyptian saw that the woman was very beautiful, and then the princess of Pharaoh saw her, they praised her to Pharaoh. And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And for her sake he dwelt he dealt well with Abram. And he had sheep, oxen, he asses, men servants, maid servants, she asses, and camels. But the Lord afflicted Pharaoh and his house with greater plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. So Pharaoh called Abram and said, What is this you have done to me? Why did you not tell me that she was your wife? Why did you say she is my sister? So that I took her for my wife. Now then, here is your wife, take her, and be gone. And Pharaoh gave man orders concerning him, and they set on their ways with his wife and all that he had. Abram and Lot separate. So Abram went up from Egypt. So basically misunderstanding and betrayal. So Abram went up from Egypt, he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot with him, into the Negeb. Now Abram was very rich in cattle and silver and in gold, and he journeyed on from Negeb as far as Bethel, to the place where his tent had been at the beginning between Bethel and Ai, to the place where he had made an altar at the first, and there Abram called on the name of the Lord. And Lot, who went with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents, so that the land could not support both of them dwelling together, for their positions were so great that they could not dwell together. And there strife between the herdsmen of Abram's cattle and the herdsmen of Lot's cattle. At that time the Canaanites and the Perizzites dwelt in the land. Then Abram said to Lot, Let there be no strife between you and me, and between your herdsmen and my herdsmen, for we are kinsmen. Is not the whole land before you? Separate yourself from me. If you take the left hand, then I will go with the right. Or if you take the right hand, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes and saw that the Jordan Valley was well watered everywhere, like the garden of Lord, like the land of Egypt, in the direction of Zoar. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So Lot chose for himself all the Jordan Valley, and Lot journeyed east. This they separated from each other. Abram dwelt in the land of Canaan, while Lot dwelt among the cities of the valley, and moved his tent as far as Sodom. Now the men of Sodom were wicked, great sinners against the Lord. So basically, this is giving me, what's going on is it's a lot of segregation happening upon, nations, ethnicities, your heritage. It's a lot of segregation happening in spiritually, physically is like between your race, my race, this and that. Spiritually, mentally, we in the same we in the same basket when it comes to I got anxiety, you got depression, and this and that. But this person with anxiety and this person with it, but these two people with depression and anxiety. I'm gonna separate y'all two. I'm gonna put one over here and I'm gonna put one over here. So this is that time. The Lord said to Abram after Lot had separated from him, "Lift up your eyes and look from the place where you are northward and southward and eastward and westward. For all the land which you see I will give to you and to your descendants forever, as I will make your descendants as the dust of the earth, so that if one can count the dust of the earth, your descendants also can be counted. Arise, walk through the length of the breadth of land, for I will give it to you." So Abram moved his tent and came and dwelt by the oaks of Mamre, which are Hebron, and there he built an altar to the Lord. So at first he was there temporarily. He pitched his tent, and he just waited on the Lord's instructions, and voila, that temporary place became his permanent place. So no more temporary, more of permanent location. Um, so like I said, at this time, it's about separation, segregation. Um, and just think about those Cherokees being separated and think about the birds. What happens naturally is for the best, but when it's forced, it's for the worst. It happens for the worst. And everybody just got to pay attention to their actions of what they do. Because it has consequences. And the fact that y'all did what y'all did, y'all caused this depression to fall upon the land of the earth, because you didn't allow what's supposed to happen naturally to happen naturally, but instead you took force of the situation. You took force of that situation, and you chose to keep these birds trapped, or you forced to put these birds in a cage and send them to a different location so that they wouldn't migrate to where they were supposed to go. They were supposed to go there, but instead you took force upon the situation and you kept them here, and the consequences was my birds died off, you know, and they weren't supposed to. This was not their time to die off. But instead of it being natural, you took it into your hands to cause death upon a nation that was not supposed to be affected. They knew what they had to do, but they were being prevented from doing what they had to do, because this is how life is. This is how people are. They want power and control and authority over a situation without caring about the consequences in hand. There's a lot of people that I've heard, it's coming back around where they talking about, if it happened, it happened. I'm a sinner. I'm a sinner. It is what it is. I was in that state once upon a time when I was younger. I'm just like, yeah, it is what it is. I got to the point where I was calling myself beautiful sinner. I actually wanted a tattoo on my body called beautiful sinner. Um, Not only for the simple fact that it's a song written by Rihanna, but I related to it a lot. Like, I see myself as a sinner, but I seen as myself as God's sinner. So therefore, if it's I felt like I was a sinner in the Lord's hands, a sinner in the making. So therefore, if God is in my life, or God is partaking in my life on my journey of being a sinner, and God is working with me, then I'm beautiful regardless. Whatever I do is beautiful, and it's for the best, because God has a role for everybody to play on earth. God has a role for the sinners. If you want to serve me, you can start from being a sinner, or you can be a sinner. God uses sinners. So just because you're a sinner don't mean that you're worthless. And that's what you got to see. If you don't see that, and you're just like, whatever, it is what it is, I'm a sinner. What if God wants to work with you? God is sitting here trying to work with you, but the fact that you don't even care about yourself, or you don't care, is just like that saying that's just going around. You can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. God is trying to lead you. God is trying to use you. But if you can't see the water for yourself, maybe the reason that this horse didn't drink the water, you led them to the water. The horse didn't drink the water. Why? Because the horse was blind. It could not see the water was there. So therefore, the water could not drink. The horse could not drink. So yeah, that being said, that's my little word. It was currently 4:53, and I just wanted to speak on that event. Yesterday was a day to basically celebrate a loss. And when I say celebrate a loss, it's just like open your eyes, acknowledge this loss. Celebrate as you would go to like a birthday party or this one specific person. It's just, you're trying to celebrate this person. Celebrate this life of those Cherokees, those Indians that lost their life. Celebrate their life. Use this time to acknowledge who was here, that could have still been here. If it not had been for that traumatic experience of Earth, it's kind of just projecting out into the world at this time. Earth is saying, listen to my experience, understand where I'm coming from. And if you do, you will understand why you're going through what you're going through at this time if you just pay attention. Pay attention to me for once in your life. So yeah. March 26, 2025 is very important to be attentive. Like, comment, subscribe, and if I share, I try my favorite to share.